Hi everyone, welcome to the House of Shadows and Ink. Welcome Ali Toothman to the House of Shadows and
Thank
Ink.
you.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Ali is one of the most awesome, exciting people I've seen on social media, and I haven't even met you in person. And from what I can see and hear from others, it's the same story. So, quick summary, tell us why you're here, what makes you awesome, so awesome that you need to be on this channel.
Oh, I don't know why I'm awesome enough to be on this channel, but I am a new Crystal Lake author. And I'm very, very excited about it. Wait, what am I supposed to say?
Uh, why are you here? You're are you a musician, an artist? You are okay, Chris, like author,
Oh,
and
I'm an
for which
author.
book?
I'm an author of Libby Lives, and I'm also in 5 anthologies, and a couple more on the way.
Nice. Okay.
I'm also the co-organizer of ShiverCon, the horror book convention, and we just had it last weekend.
I saw the photos, like, man, like you know how to make people jealous, like or envious, whatever. Like, and I'm
Major
gonna
FOMO.
if we can make your book a bestseller, I'll be there next year. That's the deal. Okay. But I mean, I'm like
Deal.
babe, I need plane tickets. Like, it's very far. I'm in South Africa for those who don't know by now. It's very far. I went to America last year to Horror on Main. Um, it was amazing. Thankfully, I didn't have to pay for anything, but
Mm,
um, yeah, next year might be a different will be a different story. So I need to pay for everything myself. So I hardly ever spend any money on myself. So it's got to be a business trip. Like it's got to be. So
yeah.
I do like two conventions and like, sign some authors, meet some Hollywood people, whatever I can do like to make it worthwhile business wise. But
Yeah.
yes, okay, Libby Lives is out this Tuesday. Um, People are probably watching this like a day before the book comes out or on launch day. So happy book launch day to you. Um, Tell us about the journey the book took. I mean, this is not a brand new release. A lot of people probably haven't read this yet, but it is actually a very popular book already when it was first published.
Um, so I had a loose idea for it. And then I was on so Gage Greenwood, he is one of my friends. He is a successful indie author, and I look up to him a lot.
Mm,
And he was doing he used to do monthly Patreon Zoom meetings. And I was like, we were sharing what was going on with us, what we were reading, writing, stuff like that. And I was like, I think I have an idea, but I'm not sure. And he asked me to share the idea, and he called me an author before I did.
mm,
Um, and he would message me like once a week until I started writing it. Um, and then my cover artist, Adrian Medina, he posted a 50% off sale on pre-mades. And so I went to his website, and this was my very first cover, but
mhm.
I saw the cover of Libby Lives and I'm like, I know what I'm gonna write. Um,
Cool.
so I bought that, and from August to October, um, I wrote the entire thing. Um, I didn't plan it. I planned like a chapter at a
Mm,
time, as the reaction to what happened in the previous chapter and then what happens next. Um, and then when I started reviewing, um, going in for draft two, I was like, I can do so much better. Like I can make this hit a lot harder. So I rewrote the entire thing in a week, from third
mhm.
person to first. Um,
Sheesh.
yeah,
That's a big rewrite.
yeah. Well, my ADHD really showed up.
We gotta get
Um,
this done.
yeah, and well, there was a book competition, and the deadline was February 28th. Sorry about my dogs.
No, hardly hear them.
Um, there was a book competition, and the deadline for publishing was February 28th. Um, so I had to publish by February 28th to be a part of that. Um, and I did end up only missing being a part of the competition by like 4 places. So I came in
Nice.
like 40th place. Um, so I did that. I sent it over to my editor. We went through a few times, got it where it needed to go. I got screwed over by my formatter. So
Mm,
Mike Salt and Bree Salt, his wife, they stayed up all night and they formatted the whole thing. They redid
sure.
everything. Um, because I only had 48 hours to get the files submitted to Amazon. So like they rushed through, they got it done. It looks great. Um, and like reading through was easier, but then reviewing the audiobook,
Mm,
oh my gosh, because like some of the things I wrote, like they came from like deep, you know, and my narrator, her voice is exactly what I had in mind for Libby. So hearing those things, like I had to pause it and I cried a couple times.
that's cool. And I'm sure
It's
readers are gonna as well. I've read the reviews, like I, I know what they go
it's
through.
yeah, it's definitely a ride. So Libby has been abused and mistreated her entire life. And then the straw breaks the camel's back.
Mm,
And then she does what she needs to get the life that she feels like she deserves, which she does deserve. Um, and then as things start getting better for her, notes start showing up, letting her know that somebody knows her secret. They know what she did.
mm,
Um, and she has to decide how far she'll go to protect those secrets. And one of the really funny things is Libby Lives has been out for a year and a half. And to this day, no one has been able to figure out who was leaving the notes. Not my husband, not my therapist. No one has been able to figure it out before the reveal.
nice. That's good.
I'm
Mm.
really excited to see if somebody can figure it out.
I've read bits, but I mean, the last time I finished one of the books that I publish was probably back in 2016. Like, there's just not enough time. But I'm on
Yeah.
audiobooks now, like heavy. So I think once this carries over to Crystal Lake Audio, um, I might need to get this because I like a challenge.
I
I,
want to see if you
I
can
think
figure it
I'm
out.
normally good enough because I can hardly enjoy a movie without like dissecting everything. But
Yeah.
that's why I like audio. Like end of the day, my eyes are too tired. That kind of stuff. I listen to audiobooks for like 45 minutes to an hour in the evening.
Mhm.
But specifically because then I don't see the words, so I'm not dissecting anything. I can actually just be
Yeah.
a reader, a listener, instead of someone who just wants to learn and break apart and reverse
I do that
engineer.
too.
Ah,
Where you're like
it's
reading it
not
and you're like, you
fun.
could totally restructure this
Mm.
sentence and
Why
like
did the
that
author
could
do
be
this?
changed. I
Why did they?
know.
uh, it's part of being an author, but you have to still connect with what brought you to the game. I mean, the
Yeah.
stories, reading, that kind of stuff. So, what inspired you? I mean, was it a specific character, a movie, a book, your personal life to create this character?
So, like I said, I had like a loose idea. Um, but then I saw the cover picture, the now cover picture, and instantly knew that is Libby. And then her story just it just all clicked the moment I saw the picture. I messaged Adrian, I'm like, I want this cover. Um, And it all came together. Like, I know that sounds super easy, but it just
Mm.
clicked.
The difficult part is staying focused and not letting other ideas, you know,
Yeah.
cloud your story and distract you, and that turns into, what do you call it, just like not moving forward, which is the
Yeah.
worst thing. And it's good that you had it at a deadline. I don't think every time
Yeah.
someone posts like competitions, contests, whatever, how much it actually helps authors stay on track, pushes them, that kind of stuff. So that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have like a loose idea for a sequel. Um, and I've been bouncing that around. It's kind of weird to me how Libby Lives came so easily. But now, like with this sequel, because this isn't really a spoiler, but the ending is wrapped up with a bow. Like this chapter of Libby's life is closed.
Mm.
So the sequel, getting it done like at this moment is not necessary, but it's like I know a couple things, but it's like, how do I get from here to there? And
Well,
so I think that's something I'm probably going to work on next year. I'm like taking notes as I think about it every day.
well, I've been known to be a bit of a story coach. If you want to do a one-on-one Zoom chat, I've helped
Yes.
authors plot books within an hour, like from no idea to done.
You
So,
actually helped me with my paranormal grief horror.
hmm. So
Um,
whenever
I
you're
started
ready.
it. I started it, but Jack Ketchum kind of ruined it for me. I can't deal with heavy feelings right now, so that one is being pushed aside.
So, so back to reading inspiration. Like, I mean, I know it's the worst question to ask an author. Why horror? Like, it was never really a choice. I mean, but
Yeah.
what got you into, and when did you realize, like, man, I see the world just a bit from a different angle than other people. I want to write. I want to put what I see and feel into words. And then, of course, why these kinds of words? Scary stuff.
So, growing up, I've always loved to write. I've always loved to tell stories. Um, when I was a teenager, my plan was to um, go to college for journalism because I knew if I wrote a book, like there's no money in being an author
Mm,
unless you get lucky. So, from 15, I knew I wanted to do something, some kind of writing. And journalism and being an author, like they're very close. You
mm,
have to do a lot of research. You have to make sure things are accurate. Um, but then things changed and like um I still wrote to some capacity. Um, I had a blog for a while and I would write like really in-depth book reviews. Um, and then when I like discovered the indie horror community, I realized like I can do this myself. Like
mm,
I can do this. I don't have to have, one of these big huge publishers throwing me on billboards to be able to write a book.
mm,
Um, and so that's really what pushed me to start like writing in a like professional capacity. Um, but I have been through a lot. Um, my therapist told me that I have the most horrendous story that she has ever heard, and I have made multiple therapists cry. So, and I mean, I'm very detached from my trauma in a way. At least I'm funny, so like
mm,
that's good. Um, but I take a lot of what's happened to me, and with my stories in general, it has a very heavy psychological aspect.
mm,
Um, my preferred style is first person, and you really get into the head of the characters. Um, and there's really that heavy, it makes an emotional impact because of their psychological state.
Mm. Nice. So it's
And
very grief horror, um,
no,
psychological horror.
so Libby Lives is I've said that it's revenge horror with psychological thriller vibes, but it is way too gory to be a thriller.
Mm.
um like my elevator pitch for it has always been it'll leave you questioning your morals while screaming good for her. A lot of people have trouble, like even I've had trouble figuring out like what exact subgenre it is. People have said it's psychological thriller, it's splatterpunk, um, all these things, but it's revenge horror with psychological thriller vibes, I feel, is what nails it
Mm.
down. Um, it is very violent, um, but there's also like that emotional part to it. And then like if I had to compare it, I would say it like Gage said in the blurb is um I Spit on Your Grave meets I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Nice.
And what's funny is I actually could not watch all of I Spit on Your Grave. I
It,
had to turn it off.
yeah, it wasn't my favorite movie, but I like the story idea behind it.
Yeah.
But I know what you did last summer. I mean, I was a kid when I watched the original, and a lot of people don't even
Mhm.
know there's an original, like way before the
Really?
90s, even. Like, well, was it in the 90s? But like, there was an old version of that.
Yeah.
Man, like, I don't
And
want to say
I'm
black and
not
white, but old. I was very young.
I'm not one of those people, like it's funny because I write horror, I love horror. So people like kind of expect me to watch a lot of horror movies and horror shows, and
Mm.
I don't even really watch TV. Um I have as of last night I've read 104 books this year, but
Wow.
I can count on one hand how many movies I've watched. Um I always say like when you're reading, you can make the movie in your head,
Mm.
but then seeing what comes out of somebody else's brain on the screen, like it's freaky sometimes.
I I just enjoy the stories. Whether
Yeah.
it's a comic book, a game, a song, like man, I love a good story. Or
Oh,
just someone telling me their stories. And
yeah.
it's amazing.
I'm the same way, and I listen to music every single day.
Mhm.
Um and like I said earlier, I have ADHD, so like when I'm writing, if like an upbeat, song that's got all kinds of lyrics that I can understand is playing, I get distracted. So when I write, I usually just listen to Slaughter to Prevail because it's metal.
Mm.
The instrumentals are really great. But most of the vocals are in Russian, so it doesn't distract me as much.
I'm an Iron Maiden fan, but when I put them on, I stop working and I just start like head banging and jumping around and going nuts and just like getting this energy level that you don't know
Yeah.
where it comes from. And like my wife says, "Oh, there he goes again." It's like just completely nuts, especially late at night when I'm tired. I put on
Mhm.
Iron Maiden, like I'm gonna dance on the tables and stuff. No.
So that's kind of how well, no, that is exactly how I am. But with Hamilton, the Hamilton soundtrack, like if I need to
Cool.
get hyped up for something, I put on Hamilton.
That's very cool. I'll have to go listen through it. Okay,
It's
so
so good.
I'll definitely check it. What do I want to say again? The new version. I mean, for those who have read the original Libby Lives, what's different this time? Because it is different. I mean,
So
uh,
we've
Yaku, my like staff member, he sits on this side. He's actually working on the final changes of your book before Tuesday. I know it's a bit short notice, but we want to make it just perfect. And you did approve some stuff that he's working on now, and it just looks beautiful, by the way. Okay, anyway.
I'm so excited.
Mhm.
So this time, there is a new introduction from Megan Stockton.
Mhm.
Um, and then so I met Blaine Daigle last year at or earlier this year at AuthorCon. Wait, no. No, I met him a couple years ago, but we hung out at AuthorCon this year. Um, and we were talking about Libby Lives, and I found out that like Blaine, his absolute jam is like divorced mom rock. So he put together a Femme Rage playlist on Spotify. So there's a list of the songs, and then there's a QR code to take you to the Libby Lives playlist curated by Blaine Daigle. And then at the end, there is a novelette. Um, and it tells you what happens between Libby Lives and the sequel, Libby's Wrath.
Nice. Okay, excellent. I'm gonna play that playlist in the office on Tuesday when your book comes out.
You
And I'm gonna put it on
should.
repeat because I'm the only person in here who listens to like, metal, hardcore, rock, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
There's lots of
nice.
Alanis Morissette.
Okay, they'll be fine with that. Okay, so and I mean, what's next? Are you working on the sequel now? Well, like still planning it out? Any other
Um,
distractions?
so I'm sure you've heard of it. I just discovered this term, but I'm struggling with sophomore syndrome right now. And it's like, what if people don't like the new book? What if, what if? So and I also discovered that like fully outlining my projects is kind of like it's like in a way my brain is saying it's already done. There's nothing for you to do. Um, so I am working on a found footage book. It's about a 17-year-old girl, and her grandpa has Alzheimer's, dementia. I still need to research that more. Um, but he was put into a nursing home because he was recently diagnosed because as his mind was unraveling, he began hoarding.
Hmm,
Um, and so they got him into a nursing home, and she's cleaning his house, his hoarder house. And she discovers some cassette tapes. And on them, she discovers that her loving, kind grandfather, who is the only dad she's ever known, like the one person she looks up to, has a horrific secret that she never saw coming. And she has to decide if she's going to continue listening to the tapes and what she's going to do with the information that she learns.
nice. Now I'm
Um,
intrigued. Oh, well, that's good. And make sure you like tie it to a passion of yours, like maybe music, something that keeps you
yeah,
motivated. Because if you do that, it's going to be easier. You're going to get it written just as fast. And I always recommend to
yeah.
authors plan your stuff in such a way that you can write your book in 3 months. Because
Mhm.
anything longer than that, it really starts weighing you down. You start slowing down, questioning yourself, and you start forgetting what you already put in. Did I cover this? Where did I cover it? You start repeating yourself. It just becomes a mess. I know it's
Yeah,
not always possible. I mean, we have lives, some of us.
yeah. And I had previously planned it out. I had started writing it in April, and then I worked on something else, and then I worked on something else, and now I'm back to it. But I decided that I'm going to ignore the outline that I had done and basically use my first draft as an outline and then
Mm,
do a digital storyboard and kind of dissect it before I go into the second draft.
mm. Well, one technique is which you basically just did, you can have an outline written down. You take a good long look at it and then you throw it away or burn it, whatever. So you have the basic idea of what you're writing, but
Yeah.
you still have that freedom to discover. Because some people
Yeah.
they know they have the possibility of going in different directions, but they still kind of feel confined. But if you throw it
Mhm.
away, Um, it's just
That's a
as
good
easy
idea.
as changing your mind. It's that easy. Like,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
go this way. It's
Um,
I normally start at the end. Like I want to know what I want the reader to feel when they get here. I want to
mhm,
know what my character's gonna experience, like how traumatic it's gonna be. You don't have to know the exact scene, but just that feeling, the end of the
mhm.
arc. Um, and then you can basically go back like
Yeah,
a few months, a year, whatever the book
yeah,
time frame is.
Love the ocean? So does something else. The Fathoms Below by Jackie Sonnenberg. A young adult underwater mystery about the things that live in the places light doesn't reach. The Fathoms Below. Swim at your own risk.
yeah. And I'm doing that, and as well as they call it fast drafting, where you just write,
Mm,
like, no editing. The only reason I'm reading through it now is because I wrote it a few months ago. So I need to,
mm,
remind myself. Um, and I'm also not writing the audio transcripts yet. Um, I'm focusing more on the story, the journey, the reactions from the character. Um, and I bought some nonfiction, um, like interview books. I'm not going to say what kind of interviews they are because it's a spoiler. But I'm going to read those and then go back after I'm done and write out the
mm,
transcripts. And I'm also
nice.
reading found footage books too, just to like see how other people go about it.
Mm, awesome.
And found footage is fun.
It is. What was that? Uh, that vamp? No, the zombie one, End of the World. Um,
I don't
no,
know. I don't read. Oh, World War
World War
Z.
Z. Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
that was cool.
I was recommended that one. Um, and because I told my friend, like, I don't read monster books, like zombies, vampires,
Mm,
werewolves, like it has to be like immaculate for me to read those.
mm,
Um, and he said that the way it's done makes it different from
it's very
everything else that
different.
he's read.
Oh, that
I'm
book was cool.
considering it.
Okay,
I
well,
just
so
finished. Oh, sorry.
no, no, no. You just
I
finished?
just finished Marla by Jonathan Jans.
Oh,
I binged it in 2 days. Um, and then I started Widow's Peak by Richard and W.H. Chismar yesterday.
gosh. I
Oh,
wish I
and
had.
I finished Going to the Six, which is another found footage.
Cool. Well, it's good you're not wasting time watching movies then with television.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. 104 books.
Yeah.
Man.
I
I'd have a
read
hard time
200
choosing
and
which ones.
well, I read 257 last year, but I don't think I'm going to do that because a lot of those were short stories.
Hmm.
Um, but I've done like a couple rereads this year. And I'm a fast reader and I'm a stay-at-home mom to middle schoolers. Um, and they just like hang out, I'm not chasing toddlers anymore, so I can like sit on the
Hmm.
couch and read. If they need something, I'm like, just do the thing.
Hmm.
Like, and
You
they're
know
like,
where it
okay,
is.
yeah,
Oh, I'm not there yet. Almost. She, it's her height is the problem. Like she can't reach everywhere. She wants to do it,
yeah,
but you still have to like help her set up everything. So.
yeah, I get that. My youngest is that way. She's 12 and she's just now tall enough to be able to put away the dishes.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just glad, well, you still have your family close, but now you have more
Mhm,
time to, read and write and everything. And I can't wait to see what
mhm,
comes next. I'm super happy we were able to bring Libby Lives on board. I mean, we although when we have open submissions, that kind of stuff, we look for new voices and amazing stories in books, But every now and then there's a few authors and books that catch our attention. And I mean, we just chat with the authors and see where it goes. And for me, it's hopefully there's a sequel, so, and we can have a whole series, because you don't want to split up the series. Like, they have to live in one home.
Yeah.
Even on Amazon, like from the business side, they don't want to put 5 books on a series page from different publishers. It needs to be the same person
Yeah.
who uploads it. So it's just better that way, and hopefully it motivates you and other authors to do the same and write 2 or 3 books. I mean, from your reader, you know how cool it is to hang out with a character or set of characters. And
Yeah.
in book 3, they mention something that happened in book 1, or a character comes back again. It's like soap operas. That's why they're so popular, I think.
Yeah. I actually had quite a few people ask me for like a progress check on Libby's Wrath. And I'm like, that's next year's project. Because I just have these other stories that have been in my head. And last year I struggled a lot with depression. And I didn't really write much other than a couple short stories for anthologies. Um, so I mean, obviously when you publish a book, you pour everything into it. Um, and I feel like I'm just kind of in a place where I need a break from that world. Because I do have other projects. Like Libby, it means everything to me, but like these other projects, like they more have my attention.
And
Um,
I'm super happy as the publisher to be able to give authors. I know how much time goes and effort goes into self-publishing. It's a lot. We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're like 5 full-time people and like 4, what do you call it, part-time people who are gonna
mhm.
push your book and fight with Amazon and distribution and all that stuff. It's a nightmare, but if we can keep that from the author and they can just write, I mean, if we can save you 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, whatever, for you to, not be bogged down with stuff that's gonna depress anyone anyway, and just focus on, your health, your like balanced lifestyle, writing, family, that kind of stuff. I gave up my social life decades ago, so it doesn't bother me anymore. So we'll handle that stuff, and you can just go to conventions. Yes, you went to, was it ShiverCon? Man.
Yes. And what's kind of like, I almost cried yesterday because like I my oldest daughter syndrome let me down and I did not delegate enough. So I'm Brandon Eldridge's sidekick. And when I say co-organizer, I mean like I'm the one doing like the actual organizing. He makes everything happen and I make it to where, it's organized. Um, but I told my husband, after SugarCon, I will work on getting a job. Because I was a full-time student, but I dropped out because I was in the creative writing bachelor's program. And in 10 months, I learned nothing about
Mm.
actual writing. So it was an expensive mistake, but whatever. Um, but I told my husband, I'm going to take the next week to continue, decompressing, and then I'll start working on finding a job. And he was like, no, I will have my associate's degree in 3 months. I want you to focus on your writing and on SugarCon.
Nice.
Because this weekend it showed him how important it is to me and also how good at it I am. Um, I
And I mean,
was running around crazy over the weekend. And it's like an ongoing joke, like, Allie, why aren't you at your table? Because I was not at my table at AuthorCon. But I was like, do you see all of this? I got this locked down. My life, not so much. I need a minute.
and I saw the videos, I saw the reactions, I saw or read people's posts. Yes, it means a lot to you, but you also mean a lot to them. And I mean, this was the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I've spoken to event organizers who started like you did now, and eventually they were called in from other conventions. Like, listen, can you come and run the game room or the tables, who goes where, and all that kind of stuff. The
Mm-hmm.
vendor room, that kind of. I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
this could be a job for you down the line,
Yeah.
and they fly you to Boston or Chicago, whatever, and you
Mm-hmm.
set up everything, and you're there on the weekend. Um, who knows?
I love organizing. Like,
Mm.
um, I used to log on to my friend's Pinterest and organize her Pinterest boards when I would get overwhelmed, like before I started writing and had like different outlets. Like I would just sit there and just organize her Pinterest.
Nice.
But it filled my cup. Um,
Mm.
it was incredible. I did not see a single sad face. There was no drama. There was no
Mm. Mm.
whispering behind people's backs. It was just like I have chills now, like talking about it. It was everything that we hoped it would be and more.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah.
Thank you. We're gonna
Um,
have team leaders next year though.
yes.
Like I said, my oldest daughter syndrome let me down. So we're gonna have team leaders for different sections. And I'm going to coordinate more with my assistants. Um, are you an office fan?
Mm. Oh, yes. My favorite show.
Okay. So my badge said SugarCon regional manager. And then one of my best
Assistant.
friends was yes. So and then there was an
Oh, cool.
assistant to the assistant.
Oh.
So we have a group chat and once we're all fully decompressed, we're gonna video chat. We're gonna do a recap of the event, you know, what went well, what we can
Mm.
change, how we can streamline this to be more organized.
Mm.
So basically, I'll have these team leaders. Brandon and I will be like, you know, this is what's happening. These are your responsibilities. Because when I got there Friday, nobody knew what they were doing. I had like six people come up to me and I'm like, Brandon, what are we doing? He's like, I'm just here. And I'm like, Brandon, I gave you a list. But he's so great. He is like he and Dan Franklin are like the
Mm.
golden retrievers of the indie horror community. And like Brandon is one of the nicest people I
Mm.
have ever met. And I'm so glad that I get to help him with this.
That's cool. Yeah. No, I think you're definitely gonna shine on this. I was thinking, like, this is why I speak to so many event organizers, because I also learn. I used to be a sports event organizer, like school level,
Oh,
and I
cool.
mean it's a lot of work, especially if there's like schedules and time, like this and this has to be
Mhm.
at the same time, and this thing needs to end before that one starts because that person needs to be there. It's nuts. Um, but there was something I wanted to say, don't forget, or oh yes, especially with conventions. Um, you do want to improve on this year, but also like
Mhm.
change it in a way so that it's not exactly the same vibe, but
Mhm.
it can't be the same. Otherwise, no one's going to come in the third year. Like, same
Yeah.
authors, same vendors, same look and feel every time. It's not that
Yeah.
special. So it's difficult. I mean, you want to keep the same vibe going, um, but
Yeah.
give people something else, something new, and even just having it more organized. You're
Yeah.
gonna, and
And
I'm sure you're gonna draw a lot more authors after this year's success because people
oh,
saw
we're
they
we
saw the
are
post,
already blowing up.
and you're gonna get new fans, readers, people that
Yes. So next
eventually
year,
big special guests.
yeah. And next year, like, okay, so now that we've been there and we have a visual,
Mm.
um, we know how many more tables we can add. Of course, there's going to be some returning authors, um, but they're going to be new authors. There's going to be more authors. And Friday, we're going to do a full day of panels.
Mm.
Um, I don't know exactly how many we're going to do, but I know we're gonna like stop in the middle of them for like lunch. I still like my voice still is like in and out because I talked so much over the weekend. Um, but things it's gonna be great next year.
Mm.
And we did have people asking like if we had like leftover t-shirts or
I
totes and
saw
things like
that.
that.
That
But
was good.
Brandon donated all of the t-shirts that we had left
Mm.
over um, because there was some bad flooding in Muncie.
Mm.
Um, and in the surrounding areas, there were evacuations in Muncie the night before the event, but
Mm.
it didn't reach downtown. And then the tote bags were accidentally sent with me. So I donated them to a local nonprofit that help the homeless and um, people who need it. And I live in a generally low income area in rural Southern Illinois. Um, so, I mean, anything and everything helps.
Mm. For
So
sure.
the extra stuff we donated, um, we had one freebie table, and next year we're gonna aim for 2 to 3. Um, and once we have our author list together, I'm gonna start reaching out to non-attending authors to see if they want to donate anything.
Mm.
And we will also have a wait list next year um, because we had a handful of authors have to back out.
Mm.
Um, but and like this is kind of side note, like even if you aren't an attending author to an event, you should really try to get there anyways.
Mm.
Um, because like I know almost all my friends are gonna be at AuthorCon next year, but I'm planning to go to StokerCon because as an author, like that is a much better opportunity for me for networking. Um, and that's also where the Bram Stoker Awards are done.
Yep.
So even just, getting out there and talking to readers, talking to authors, and, I went to an event last year and I sold 13 books and I wasn't an attending author because I had people like, Allie, do you have your book? And I'm like, secretly, yes. And I do a lot of trades at events. And just trading with other authors.
Mm.
I've gotten invitations for anthologies and I wouldn't really say sponsorships, but like being featured on things
Mm.
because we traded, because they read my book. So
Nice.
any networking opportunity you can do is fantastic.
And I mean, conventions for any authors listening, conventions is amazing. I mean, before your book comes out, after your book is out, volunteer, be there as a fan, meet people, go to everyone you can in your area. And I'd say at least one, like where you travel far, like a year if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be my goal as well. Like travel really far at least once a year and
Yeah.
attend like 2 conventions. That would be
I
cool.
will not be driving to New England again. It was 16 hours to AuthorCon for us. And we stopped in Knoxville on the way home because my friend had a snake for my daughter. And so the snake and the tank were in the back seat of the car. And I was so tired. And I can't sleep in the front seat. I literally
Mm.
cried because I was so exhausted. I'm like, I just want to get home.
Snake in the car. My wife would never allow that. Like,
Yeah, we have a lot of animals. I'm surprised that my dogs have been well behaved. We have 4 dogs. Our smallest is 85 pounds and our biggest is 160. And then we have 4 cats, 2 leopard geckos, and then my daughter has a ball python.
let me think. We've got 2 rabbits, 4 cats, and 1 big dog and a bird. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like birds. Birds are evil.
The bird was here when we moved into the house, so he stays until, well, she stays until she dies, and then no more birds. Yeah. Well,
Don't
Ellie,
blame you.
good luck. I mean, this is like a second launch. It's like a new launch. I mean, I hope people get it. I hope the original readers get a new copy. It's going to be worth it. and especially for that novelette in the back, and then for what's to come. And good luck with the sequel and all your other projects, conventions, and turning all of this stuff that you love and that makes you happy into a career. And I will help
Thank
you as much as I possibly can, and make sure the rest of my team does the same. Welcome to Crystal Lake.
Thank you. I
Otherwise-
appreciate it.
Have a wonderful week and a happy book
You
launch
too.
day for what
Thank
lies
you.
ahead. Okay. Thanks again for coming by. I'm sure you're going to be back many more times.
Thank you. We'll talk
Bye.
soon.